I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I always miss it. That last week. Guys, welcome to Station 19 After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm one of your hosts, Linda Antwi, and you know what? This is why I do not camp unless I'm in a cabin. Welcome, guys, and my co-host.
Hello, everybody. It's gonna be a good episode. We have so much to talk about. I cannot wait. And this whole Jack and Andy situation, can't wait to discuss it.
I'm over it already.
Nope, here for it.
But guys, guess what? We have a special guest in studio tonight, Lovelee Carroll. And if you guys recognize her, she was on last week's episode, and she was the reporter. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a side eye here, but that broke open that homeless camp. So it wasn't like they were trying to, like, do the good stuff.
Right.
They're like, there's a homeless camp here, and you got to be out of here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
We're really happy to have you.
Awesome.
So, overall thoughts, Tsahai, of this week's episode?
You know, the bear thing, I didn't know what to think of that. The whole ripping off the nose, that part was interesting. But this whole rekindling of this Andy Jack situation was the highlight for me. I'm very excited about it. You know, Maya has moved on already. She's okay. So I'm happy my girl Andy, who's my girl this week. Sometimes she's not. But she's my girl this week. She's got a little comforting from an old friend.
I feel like we have a rift going on because I've definitely been team Maya, and you've been team Andy. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? My overall thoughts, first of all, this is why I camp in a cabin. I know I said that already, but I just want to make sure that you guys all understand that this is why I do that. Because, you know, bears, no bueno. But I learned something about black bears versus brown bears, which was super interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. But I'm not for the Andy and Jack thing. Like, are we back in season 1? Because did we all forget about what happened and how Andy really, really feels? And just because two people are lonely and broken don't mean they should be together.
I mean, it removed him from Vasquez's wife, which is a positive thing. And now that Ryan's no longer here, you know, she needs someone.
Lonely and broken. Just saying. Let's jump into it, though. Let's get into a little bit of Pruitt and Maya. So Maya, we see her from the get-go doing the drills, hasn't changed anything. We haven't learned anything about her quite yet.
Yeah.
But then in the flashbacks, we learn about it. So she's taking a timeout, and Pruitt just happens to be there. Pruitt is like Ryan. Doesn't work, is the only dude that's like around. I love it, though. I love it. He's around to support his family. What did you think of that whole thing and his idea of Maya taking them camping?
I thought it was really sweet. He's retired, you know. He's officially retired, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but he worked in the episode like 2 episodes ago. Remember, he was
in the ambulance.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's still working, but the fact that he intuitively knew that something was wrong with her and that he wanted to kind of help her like he would help his own daughter, I thought that was really sweet. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if his advice is always necessarily the best advice. Let's look at the fact that he made his daughter not get a promotion because he thought she wasn't ready, right? So, and look at this. He's like, take them camping, and all of a sudden there's a big bear, and people get injured.
But he's looking out for, like, he always has, his advice is filled with, because it's going to benefit him at some point. So he's always looking out for himself, I guess. Now we know where his daughter gets it from.
Right, facts. Dean. So we've seen Dean cooking, and he doesn't think he's going camping because he wants to cater to JJ, who's 1,000% pregnant. She decides that she's taking a prenatal day. And what we see in that relationship is that they don't know anything about each other.
Right.
And how he's feeling a little bit insecure about his situation and becoming a new dad and all of that. What did you think of that?
Dean, you know, it's like he's nesting. You know, he's trying to take care of JJ. She's come back into his life and caused a ruckus, but he's really adapting to it in such a short amount of time. Lovelee, can you tell me what it was like? Did you meet him on set? Did you see my boyfriend? Did you interact with him a little bit?
Dean?
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
I didn't.
It's okay. We'll discuss.
He wasn't on my day.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what you'll
I
be
could
able
have
to give.
requested him had I known.
That's
though.
all right. That's all right. Now we know, and you'll be able to give us some more inside scoop about your experiences on
Yes.
set. Yeah.
Oh yes.
But Dean, he's being really good to her. Other guys, I think they would have been rude to this woman showing up on their doorstep with a baby. But he's being really sweet, especially with this whole proposal. Hello.
Yeah, the proposal was unnecessary, but I think that Dean was raised right, so he's trying to do the right thing all the time.
But do you think he low key loves her?
I think that he wants to do the right thing.
Okay.
And I think that because when he said, "Oh, I want Cheetos," he realized, I am jumping the gun a little bit. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Like, if you're here, you're living with me, I'm about to be a dad, then the right thing to do is to propose and get married. It's not necessarily what he wants.
I think he kind of has feelings for her because he was jealous and worried that she possibly went to see someone else as opposed to going camping with him. So I think the feelings are still there a little bit.
Maybe. Tell us a little bit, Lovelee, about your experience on set, what that was like.
So this is my third Shondaland show, and I have to say they're just so precise. They just have it down to a T, and so it was just a great day. We just shot one day, but it was super windy. Actually, we shot downtown, and they fleshed out this warehouse building and made it this really. I mean, not that they needed to, because there's so much homelessness downtown. So it was almost like you could just turn the corner and be in a real one. But they really made a really nice set for us. And it was me, Gray, and Jason, and then the little girl who played Lily.
So cute.
Oh, she was so cute. Her and I had talked a little bit off set, and it's so cool to see younger actors, and to see their perspective and their viewpoints, because they're just taking so much in. And sometimes I have to remind myself to be a child,
Yeah, to be in that moment.
To be in that moment, right. So, yeah, it was a really
All right,
good
so
day.
you've done Station 19.
Yes.
You've done Grey's.
Yes.
And what was the third one?
How to Get Away with Murder.
So she's like a crossover expert almost,
Queen
too.
over
I
here.
mean,
Yeah.
Shondaland, she loves me. What can I say? 3 shows.
Yes. You can be cast in her next project.
Right.
You'll be the lead. I have a question. So how long did it take from the point, like, did you have, being that you'd worked with them before, did you have to audition again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So totally same procedure. And actually, they were a few years apart. I think I did Grey's. It was 2014. How to Get Away with Murder was 2016. And then this was 2019. So
Nice. I love that. And then you talked about you filmed it quite a while ago, which I thought was interesting, back in September.
Yeah,
And we're just seeing it now. So
So, okay, so the turnaround time, it takes a couple of months
right.
after you shoot.
yeah, that makes sense because they make us wait to watch the show forever. Shonda. Let's move on a little bit and talk about Garcia introducing Eva to the team. Did you feel like he already knew when he was introducing her at the station that there was something going on with her and Jack?
Like he deliberately brought her there
Yeah.
because I got an inkling of that. I think, Rodrigo knows something is going on. A man knows his wife, and he knows that when she's not doing right. And she may have a history of this because she's very comfortable in this position.
And when she climbed into his tent in the woods with her husband in the tent beside her, I was like, you should just slap her because this is outrageous.
She's bold. She's definitely bold. And again, I think her husband may have done something to trigger this type of behavior in her. So I'm not, just putting all the blame on her just yet. I feel like he did something to make her this way. Wayward woman.
I don't know about that. Can someone actually make you cheat? I don't know.
Those are deep thoughts.
I mean,
deep thoughts.
Really deep thoughts.
I think he sparked something. Also, don't forget, we're in the live chat. If you guys, watch tonight's episode, let us know what your thoughts are.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Maya texting her dad for inspiration for this whole camping trip and his response to her, how he's just really like, you're the captain, so work it out.
This dad, I don't like him. I mean, I understand that's her dad. She's close. He motivated her. And it shows you how we all have a backstory and that we all basically end up being like our parents or how they, a result of how they raised us. But I don't like the dad at all.
I completely understand Maya now, though.
Yeah.
Now that we have her backstory. So with the 5 different flashbacks, we see how it was all about competition and not friendship, which explains her relationship with Andy. And then it was her almost coming out in that moment with her best friend and then having to pull away because her dad's like, no, you're just going to focus on moving forward, being an athlete, and being the best.
Right.
We see them at that dinner table where he's mad at her because she actually took a moment to be human and help her friend because she thought her friend was hurt, especially someone that she thought she was like falling in love with, had a crush on.
Right.
And the dad is passive aggressive and almost abusive in that situation.
Very much
where
so.
he's ignoring her and then he doesn't allow her to eat, which I think is like a whole crazy thing. Like, you can't have the starch there, you can have the carbs. Like, stop it right now.
Right. And then throws the potatoes against the wall like a crazy person.
Right.
Like, and then the mama, she looks like she's like an abused wife because she said nothing.
Yeah.
And then the little brother, he's like all like, I don't know, it was just a very weird family dynamic.
Yeah, and we learned about the brother back in season 1, and what I thought was interesting about that is, do you remember that the brother is a drug addict?
Yes, that's
and homeless.
Yes.
And so that whole thing is now starting to make sense. So overall, she's definitely a product of her dictator father, which kind of explains who she is right now.
Yeah. Did you have to go to a table read for your episode?
No, we did not do a table read for this one. It was quick. It was in and out.
Did you get to see any scripts that would give us any clues about what's coming up next?
She's digging for inside scoop.
What did you see? Where did people put their glasses? Tell me everything.
They sent me all of season 4.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding. No, they didn't. They're very hush-hush. They have it on lock. I mean, how many Shonda shows do we have now? It's just like they know exactly what to give, a little bit what you need to know, maybe a little bit extra, and then that's it.
Damn.
Yeah. I know.
What was your favorite part about being on set that day?
Oh, man. I'm just somebody that lives for experiences. Like, short little backstory. I was adopted. So, my life has been just a world full of blessings. So the experience of being there, working, having that opportunity, that's what I live for.
Beautiful. And the episode.
That episode,
with
having
kids
the foster kids.
I know.
Versus the bio kids. That's like a whole.
Yes, and look at that.
Yeah. In
chose
the
the
beginning,
right
when they
girl.
opened that, I was just like, with the foster kids, I was like, wow, this is my life. So.
Beautiful.
That's super special. Let's talk about, we've talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about it some more. Andy and Jack. Yes. Okay, so we learned so much in this episode. So we've learned that Andy has moved out of the house. We've also know that Jack, who was living with Dean, has now moved out of Dean's place.
Right.
And now they're living together, which we knew that they were going to do because that was their big plan for last episode. Are you here for Andy and Jack?
I may not have been very clear before, but yes, I am here for this. I know it is messy, but just, it's not like she's hurting Ryan anymore because R.I.P. Ryan. Maya did her dirty and was sleeping with Jack. So, oh, well, you get what you reap what you sow. And then Andy, she's had such a difficult time. She's, she doesn't even know her dad is dying of cancer right now. Her ex-boyfriend died. She didn't get the promotion. Let the girl have a little peace or get a piece. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm not for it. I'm not for it because I'm for it in Shondaland because I know that it's going to be great drama, but I'm not for it it's because it's going to be great drama. I don't think that Maya is absolutely over him. I think that as we saw with the flashbacks that she's not great with relationships and she tends to push people away, which we saw not only with Jack, but also with Dr. DeLuca at the very end, how she was like, no. Okay, but maybe.
Yes.
Right? So I think that that's going to be a situation that happens. And I think that, again, and we called this and we talked about this last episode, but I think there's going to be a crazy triangle. Andy and Maya and Jack, and then we have Eva over here with Rico Vasquez. It's going to be a hot mess. And that station, 19, like fire, it's about to be fire.
And the element I didn't think about was the fact that now Maya can't just walk away from Jack. She can actually fire him now.
Absolutely.
So it makes the stakes even higher now.
Absolutely. All right. I was trying to avoid this, but I guess I can't avoid it for too much longer. Ben and Sullivan. First of all, Sullivan, you're now going to almost be an addict.
No, he
Do you know
is an
how
addict.
fentanyl is? I mean, Google it. Fentanyl is the most addictive drug that there is out there. You can't just pop a fentanyl and be like, oh, I'm good. As we could see with this episode when you were falling asleep and then like we're slurring your words and Ben's looking at you like, are you good? And then now you're a thief as well. Done.
I'm done. I'm very disappointed in him. This whole high on life situation, not going out on calls because you're high on drugs. Like, get yourself together, Sullivan. I expected more from you. This whole, I'm already annoyed with him crying about the pain all the time, but because I still don't understand what this illness he has is. I'm not very familiar with it, but it just also sounds like this made up thing, but I'm sure people have it, and I apologize if they really do. But the way I'm just so used to him being so strong, so to see him like fall down in pain, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
But here's the thing. Go and get the surgery. Oh, look, no more pain.
Right.
So you would rather not be honest and not get the surgery so that you're out for maybe, I don't know, let's just randomly say 3 to 6 weeks.
Right.
And be all on board, back to your chief job and be good. You would rather steal drugs, take drugs, be hooked on drugs, and then get caught because, Ben was a doctor, and when he called for the fentanyl for the dude that lost his nose, he's going to have to, I even know this, and I'm not a paramedic, but you know what? Guess what? Every time you use a drug in the ambulance, you have to then account for it. So he's going to say, oh, there was 25, and now minus the 2, minus the 1, where are the other 2?
Yep, and that we have some news and gossip spoilers in our news and gossip segment about that, so stay tuned.
Done, Sullivan. I'm so disappointed.
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Let's talk about Vic and Avery real quick. He's a hottie. Did you ever get to meet him?
Yeah, did you see him?
I didn't.
He's hot too. So Vic brings what I like that she said, her man on this camping trip, which, happened to be perfect timing since we needed a doctor in the house.
Yeah.
What do you think of that relationship? And what do you think of this constant crossover every week? I love it personally.
I'm enjoying this whole crossover thing because I have been a Grey's fan for many years, so I continue to watch. So it works for me. I feel sorry for the people that have not been watching and don't know what's going on, but guys, you need to catch up. This whole Vic, what's his name? Avery relationships. Avery, I'm still on the fence with this whole relationship. I still, I'm worried about our girl Maggie and Grace, but also they're moving along very quickly, and he always has googly eyes. Anything that she does, of course, she hit him with the song, started singing at the campground with my boy Dean, and he was like googly eyed again. I was like, damn,
oh my God.
And then she was all strong, lifting up the guy Scott out of the campground. So it's like, darn, he's like falling even more and more in love with her every week.
So I'm sorry, they kind of have a nice pure love, but you're here for Andy and Jack's broken love.
Pure. She's
what
a
are you talking
rebound.
about?
This is a rebound that's turning out well.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Serious. Yes, they went to
Guys.
dinner last week at his mama's house, but still, I'm just not. I have not accepted this yet.
Clearly. Go ahead and be in the comments, guys. Let us know what you think of these new love stories, because we're clearly not in agreement here. What did you think of Andy's attitude with the pine cone exercise, and how I thought that was a great thing? Like, you know what? This is something nice about you, I'm going to say. And you pass the pine cone along. And instead she says, I'm glad that these pine cones basically burn well, and throws it into the fire.
Andy's still in pain, so she was a little salty and she wasn't being very nice. But I mean, she did, stare down a bear. So we've got to give her that.
Let's talk about that bear attack. So there's a bear attack, and we met that couple earlier with Scott and Rachel, and we hear the screams. Scott's nose gets taken off and all that, and all the firefighters really just came to aid, and they all kind of knew their spots.
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting was that Andy knew exactly what to do between the black bear and brown bear, because I definitely would not have known.
Neither would I.
All I know is that you're supposed to lay down and play dead. Did you know there was a difference?
No.
So with a black bear, you're supposed to get bigger and small movements and tell them that, hey, here I am, as in to overpower them, and also to not to scare them. But with brown bears, you're supposed to lay down and play dead. Who knew?
Station 19 teaching us things every week.
Wow.
For real.
I really didn't know
Now you
that.
know.
That is.
That's going to be in the back of your head when you go camping now.
Well, we live in California. I mean, that's really helpful advice, I feel like. Thank
It better
you.
be true. That's all I have to say. Because I'm going to say I learned it on Station 19, Shonda. Just saying. Okay, so yeah, what I thought was also interesting in the situation was that Maya took charge. Oh, excuse me, Andy took charge and Maya didn't take charge.
She took charge of running with the nose. Her athletic background did come in handy.
It did come in handy there, but in that whole situation, I thought it was interesting that Andy was the one that knew what to do and had that knowledge. Like overall, like well done, Andy. We see that Pruitt apologizes to her in the van.
Yes.
For calling her a slut and all the other stuff, but he still doesn't manage to tell her that, hey, I'm dying. But he does have that special moment with Travis. What did you think of that?
I think it was his, how when people pass and you say, damn, I wish I had an opportunity to tell them this before they died. I think this was him trying to just like make amends with his daughter because he knows the clock is ticking. So, but I appreciate him saying that to her. And it also shows the power of an apology.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Man.
it's easy to hold on to anger, but he may not have said it when she expected it or where she expected it, but he said it, and you could see her being diffused, and then therefore asking him, hey, like, is there something you wanted to talk to me about?
Yeah. I think that real quick, Jack and Andy at Joe's. Thank God Joe's is back up and running after the accident from 2 weeks ago. Jack and Andy, we know, get it on, and then we see that Maya may have a new love interest with Dr. DeLuca. Love is in the air.
I know. We have someone in the live chat, Toes Girl. She said, I don't like the cheating wife. It seems like a game to her. But she said she's here for Jackson and Vic, and she thinks they fit well together.
Thank you.
And but she also says, I also like Andy and Jack. They have been connected since the beginning. Remember the skyscraper. Thank you, Toes Girls. Appreciate you.
Toes Girls, just remember, you're not supposed to go backward. If it didn't work out in the previous relationship, there's a reason.
New beginnings.
And this is not new. This is brokenness.
It's a clean slate.
Let's talk to Lovelee a little bit about what she's been up to and her little background and all of that. So I know that you stay busy.
I do. I try.
And you have a play coming up that's 27 cities, national tour. It's called Seven?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
Seven. So LA Theater Works, they are doing a national tour of a play called Seven, a documentary play. And it is the first national tour of this play. It's actually been performed in over 30 different cities around the world.
Wow.
And it's been translated into 27 different languages, performed everywhere. And so this is the LA national tour of it. And we're in our second leg. So we did a tour last fall and then broke for the holidays, and then now we're back. And we leave tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
At 9:30.
Well, thanks for being out late with us.
Oh, I had nothing else to do. So.
What character do you play in this Seven?
Her name is Mukhtar Mai. So it's 7 women that we are all portraying, real life women. Actually, one of them has passed since the play came out in 2008. Inez McCormick, she's the Northern Irish woman. She is unfortunately deceased, but I play Mukhtar Mai. She is from Pakistan, and she, if you remember, back in 2002, she made international news because she had been gang raped, and it was an honor revenge on her family in this small little village in Pakistan, and she brought her attackers to justice and won in court. And it was the first time that had ever happened.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately, very rarely does it ever happen now following. But she won, and so these 7 playwrights, they merged together. They took all of these women's stories, formed Seven, the play, and that is what we're doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you always take on lighthearted roles, I see.
Always, from reporter to Mukhtar. It's it's a big melting pot of fun. Actually, no, I know that sounds sarcastic, but I really enjoy what I do, and so it's a really fun change, being on Station 19 and doing other Shonda shows, and then jumping from film, and I shot a few films last year too that are coming out now, and all lighthearted stuff. One was a horror film, but now doing something like this, it's cool to be able to transition and do all different types of things.
Right.
So if people want to see if your play is coming to their city, they can go to latw.org.
That's right.
Awesome. And where can they find you online if they want to follow your journey?
You guys can find me at Lovelee Carroll, LOVLEECARROLL, on Instagram, and then I also have a Facebook fan page. So yeah, or IMDb, I'm on there too.
Awesome. Cool. Love it. Well, you stay busy. Thank you so much
You guys,
for joining
thank
us.
you.
It's been awesome
This is
far.
so fun.
Thank
I really
you.
have my Station 19 fix now.
Yes.
I got caught up. This is great.
I have one more question about the process, real quick. You said you do film, you've done television, you do theater. Do you have to change your technique for each medium, or is it kind of like I'm a trained actor, I know what to do? You kind of just use the same.
That's a really great question.
Muscles.
I think it's the muscles definitely kind of flex and change depending on the role, and I think that really dictates how I go about the process of how I approach each role. And some characters, I do a lot of dialect work, especially in this play. Actually, I do 5 different dialects, and so with that, it's more intellectual. Whereas when I did the horror film last year, it's called Await the Dawn, coming out.
All right.
I played a demon, and so it wasn't really until I got into the costume that allowed me to feel that character.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that question.
Thank you.
love
Thank you.
that.
Because I like to hear the process of how
yeah.
you get it, do your work. So
Yeah.
I love it. Let's move on to some news and gossip.
yes.
Tsahai with the news and gossip.
So yes, so our girl Danielle, aka Maya, did a takeover today on the Station 19 Instagram, and I pulled some pictures from it. So this is the first slide is Maya, or I'll call her Maya. That's how I know her. Just opening up people to the Instagram that takeover that she did today, and then we have some other photos. This is her getting into character for, I guess, the youth transformation. Now, to me, she already looks super youthful. So the fact that they had to use like special effects makeup on her, I thought that was really interesting because she just naturally looks younger, or very young and youthful anyway. I mean, I thought they just threw on like some prosthetic braces. So we have another photo. This is her saying to what she thinks how everyone's reaction would be to her suggesting that they go on camping, which I thought was funny, making a face. Let me read you the caption. It says, this is my interpretation of everyone else when hashtag Maya Bishop tries to be quote unquote fun on this camping trip, which was super cute. And then we have another photo of young Maya and her study buddy / first crush, which I thought was super cute. I always love behind the scenes photos. And then we have another photo of the director kind of just talking to she and the other actor about just the role and and the scene.
You have a question right here. Sorry to cut you off, but was the actor, was she young or was she also in character like Maya?
How old was she?
Yeah.
I don't know how old she was, but I did write down her name, Nita Cursed, and I apologize if I said that incorrectly, but I'm not sure how old she was. But again, it's like, remember, people look super young anyway, so they can play young. Like how what's the youngest role you've ever played? Like, have you ever played a teenager?
Oh yeah, 18 actually. I did a play last year and I played 18.
Look at that. You see?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And then we have some scoop about next week's episode.
Yes.
So this is a bit of a spoiler alert for you guys. Our friends over at let me tell you, Broadway World had some details about next week's episode, which is called Satellite of Love. So Ben readies the physician response team. So we know that Ben got, his wish to get this new team started. But then he also is still suspicious about Sullivan and this missing fentanyl. And then Jack and Rico try to look past their differences, is what they say. So they already have tension, but we're going to see, I guess, them try to work it out next week. But is that the right thing to do at this time? I don't know.
I think Rico finds out that Jack is cheating with his wife, and that's going to be the tension.
But this says, they're working it out. So we'll see what happens. And then there's going to be a mysterious gas station fire. And then Dean and JJ try to work through their different parenting styles. And we saw that JJ's going to have the baby. And we saw Maya helping her. Like, of course, Station 19 couldn't have the baby at Gray's. No, she had to have the baby in the fire station? Like, what? So it's going to be a great episode. And then it says Travis meets someone new. Someone in our comments last week said, what's going on with Travis's storyline? So he's going to meet someone new. So that's going to be exciting.
It.
He does. It's time for him. And I want to give a quick shout out to everyone that commented on last week's episode. Crystal Sims, Joshua Washington, Gemini 3, Toes Girls again, the Queen of Regal, Michelle Fitzgerald, and Paola Ortega. Thank you guys so much.
Love it. We do a little fun segment called Fire Facts now, where we get to learn a little something like we learned about the black bear and the brown bear. So Fire Facts, and I'm actually going to make it a little interactive for you guys. You can say whether you think it's like true or not true, whether we should do it or we should not do it. First, did you know or do you think that you can start a fire with ice?
Lovely, I'll have you go.
I'm looking to her for help. I would say that's a very interesting question. So I'm gonna say that I didn't know it, but I'm probably wrong.
You can start a fire with ice.
Okay.
So yes.
Interesting.
Which is interesting.
Dry ice or regular ice?
Just regular ice.
Regular
what they want you guys to do is to get a candle and put it on a spoon and ice over top and see what happens. I'm not saying you should do it, but you could try it if you wanted. I want to talk about smoke detectors, fire safety, and all of that. Do you think that having one smoke detector or Tsahai in the house is enough?
No, you should have one in every room.
You should have one in every room, exactly. And you should especially have one outside of sleeping areas, they say. And how often do you think that you should test your smoke detectors?
Every 6 months?
They say that you should actually test them monthly.
Ooh.
And the batteries should be replaced twice a year.
I feel like we're all overdue on that one.
And
all overdue.
so here's what they say. Every time you have to change your clock, so fall behind, spring ahead, that's when you should also be changing your batteries in your smoke detectors.
Okay.
So you can add that to the repertoire. They say that you should encourage children to help test the smoke detectors so that they know what that alarm sounds like, because anytime there's usually an alarm, it's something that's supposed to be scary and that you should get away, right? Okay, we're going to move on to fire extinguishers. Should you have in your regular house a fire extinguisher like you have at businesses?
Yes.
And do you think that you need more than one fire extinguisher in your house?
I would say so.
Unless you have a studio.
Word, okay? Truth.
You should have a fire extinguisher anywhere that can create fire. So by the furnace, by a garage, in your living room, in your kitchen, all of those places. But like you said, if you have a studio, maybe
I'll put one on the outdoor terrace.
Okay. Okay, window.
Okay, so here's the other thing. If you have a fire extinguisher in your house, do you know how to use it?
I do not. I've never used one. You?
I felt like the fire crackling just got really low for this answer right now.
You went from a high to a low?
I really feel like the fire just
The pressure is on.
Really. No, I don't.
Okay.
Same. So I didn't know how to use it either. And so they say that you should make sure that every able-bodied member of your family or your household is trained and familiar with the proper way to use fire extinguishers.
Okay. Good.
And last but not least, if you must use a fire extinguisher, make sure you have a clear way out in the event that you can't put out the fire.
Okay.
Guys, those are your fire facts for this week. If you have a fire fact, definitely make sure that you hit us up in the comments. Let's go straight into our predictions. Now, I know you gave us a few.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
And I have a little update. Our actress that was Maya's best friend is actually 29 years old.
See? So
Look at that. Look at
teenagers, adults,
good genes,
Yep.
you know, collagen,
Yep.
drinking water.
moisturized.
Yes. My predictions for next week, you know, I hope to see more of Jack and Andy getting hot and heavy anywhere they can, back in the station, whatevs. Normally I don't like that, but these two, I like it. I don't want Jack to get in trouble. I know he was wrong. I'm blaming the wife, his co-worker's wife, more on this one, Rodrigo's wife, but she just would test him, and he just always would take her back. He's a kind guy, guys. You know, he's a little weak right now. So, but this whole, and then I do feel a little bad for Maya. She's, why do you think she what was her vibe? Like at the end of the episode, she was like sad, and
She's sad. Her besties were ignoring her at the bar.
I know, but and then she's just trying to work hard. I know, but I feel a little bad for her. But she brought this on herself. And then Maya's Andy's dad. This whole cancer thing. I hope he just doesn't just like drop dead one episode. I need a build up for this, because it's still sad that he's every time he says I'm dying, it like breaks my heart.
He's been dying since season 1 though.
I know, but now it's really gonna happen.
Is it?
Maybe. Hopefully they find a cure.
Okay, so I only have one major prediction, and it's major, guys. So, Jeannie, is that her name? JJ, the actress?
JJ,
I don't see her as a series regular.
Brenda Song? That's
Brenda
her
Song, yeah. I didn't see her as a series regular online. So I think that she's going to have the baby next week, and the baby is not going to be Dean's. It's not going to look anything like Dean. And Dean has set up this whole thing to be the baby daddy, and it's not going to be his baby.
That's a good one.
That's
a
it.
good one.
That's all I got. Mic drop.
That's going to lead him into the arms of Maggie.
Meg, you know what? I know you want those two to be together so badly. She says it like every week.
I'm keeping hope alive, guys.
Yeah, I think that's it, guys.
Yes. Wait, can we give a shout out to Dean for his singing? I mean, he was in Hamilton. And the fact that we got to experience his voice.
Look at all these theater people. Station 19.
Hello.
And Jason George did theater.
Yes. And you were saying there's like an Indiana connection with his wife.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, his wife has an MFA from Indiana University, where I went to school. And also, just going back to the theater, the guy that plays Ryan Tanner, I know him very well, Alberto Frezza. I know. We were in class together.
What happened to him? Is he like moving on to something else?
I was so upset because so I talked, and he knew that I was going to be on the show, and I was in the episode right after he got killed off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why?
But no, really, did he leave to did he get like a bigger project, or like what happened?
I don't know. This was a while ago, so he could have possibly booked something.
Okay, we're going to say that.
Plus, you never know with Shondaland. She'll just like kill you off in a minute. So you just don't know.
You don't know. I mean, look at Jason. Like, he's back from Grays. Like, you could just be placed anywhere. Look at my character. Yes. I'm a reporter, but I could be on 2 weeks from now.
Right? Yes,
back with breaking news.
Breaking up more homeless camps.
Guys, okay. Thank you so much for joining us. We just love you guys. And if you want to continue the conversation, make sure you hit us up in the comments, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Find me all across social media at Linda Is So Girly. Where can they find you again, Lovelee?
At Lovelee Carroll.
And you can find me at Say Hi Tsahai.
Guys, next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.